At Wind River Resort and Casino, we like to celebrate life's little moments. Oh, and the big ones too, because around here, when you're completely in the moment, that's when the magic happens. Come in and find your moment at Wind River Resort and Casino.
Good morning, everyone. Enjoying my cup of coffee out there this morning. Hoping you're having a good start to your day. It is Tuesday. For some of you, it's a short work week. For me, it's a regular work week. I didn't have President's Day off, but hopefully you had a nice day and enjoyed it. You know, it was a kind of one of those mostly cloudy days, kind of a gray day, but didn't really see much in the way of rain, although there was a little bit of snow for some of the higher elevations, a few sprinkles here and there. But again, it just was not that big of a deal yesterday. I'm expecting as we start the day today, many of us have kind of cleared out a bit. It's a little bit on the cool side as a result, but the clouds will be on the increase here quickly this morning and through the afternoon. We're back to mostly cloudy skies, maybe a sprinkle, a light shower this afternoon, but the main event won't be here until late tonight and early tomorrow morning. And with that, the rain, of course, mountain snow, but the winds may be picking up with that as well. So what do you say we get right to our Krueger's quick cast for those of you that are checking in for a quick look at your forecast here for today. This is Tuesday, February 18th. Those temperatures out there this morning are in the mid to upper 20s for most of us in the higher elevations, although Chester quite cold at about 19 degrees. We've got 48 degrees in Crescent City, 38 degrees in Weaverville, and 43 degrees in Red Bluff. Let's get you out the door this morning. As I mentioned, we are starting off with a few clouds out there this morning, but those clouds will be on the increase here throughout the morning hours. There you can see some of the fog that we will see in some of the low-lying areas, especially in those mountain valleys. Otherwise, temperatures this morning are on the cold side in the mid to upper 20s for many of the higher elevations at 8 o'clock this morning. Well, you can see that big stream of moisture off to the west of us. That's actually an atmospheric river or a pineapple express, whatever you'd like to call it here. And that is going to be mainly pointed at the Pacific Northwest today. Now, as that shifts southward, it's going to lose some of its energy, so it won't be quite as plentiful in the moisture department as it is right now. But it is still going to bring us rain, and it's going to be a fairly fast-moving system tomorrow, and that's why I don't expect for most of us, and I say that because the coast could see some decent rainfall out of this. But there you see futurecast here. There are the increasing clouds here through the morning, and this afternoon it's fairly dry. Now, a weak disturbance will push to our north. You can see that it could bring a sprinkle or two in the valley. Now, the darker shades of green in Siskiyou County, Modoc County, Eastern Mountains, yeah, okay, maybe a shower, light shower later this afternoon and evening. But otherwise, that's not the main event, folks. We've got more coming in later tonight. You see that batch of rain? That's actually in advance of the main band of rain that'll be coming in tomorrow morning. So there is actually a wind advisory for Del Norte and Humboldt counties from 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. Wednesday. So again, that's when the cold front's passing through late tonight, early tomorrow morning. Gusts along the coast are going to be upwards of around 45 to 55 miles per hour. By the way, no advisories right now for central Siskiyou County, but I have a feeling that the National Weather Service out of Medford may be changing that, and eventually we'll see a wind advisory for central Siskiyou County here, probably for the early morning hours into the, say, around noon or so. In fact, we'll take a look at the winds out there for today. Obviously not an issue, but they are picking up a little bit this afternoon. Then there you can see, there's tomorrow morning. You see what's happening? Gusts easily seeing 25 to 35 miles per hour. And look at central Siskiyou County. You're also seeing some very strong winds there as well. And then by the mid to late morning hours, the winds start to die down, even for central Siskiyou County, although still gusty, but especially for the coast. But now we're starting to see the winds pick up for the valley and to the east. That's because the cold front will be kind of pushing through at that point. Let's take a look at your ski report here for your Tuesday, February 18th. 108 inches out at the summit at Shasta Ski Park, still at 100% open. You can see the amount of snow we expect with the approaching storm system. It's not a ton, but hey, it's snow, and snow is always a good thing at the ski park. Could see, I'd say on average, about 6 inches of snow at the base and, of course, at the summit as well. The only chain requirement we have right now is on Highway 299 East. That is at Cedar Pass. We'll take a look at the roads out there right now, and you see a little bit of fog that we are seeing for some of those mountain valleys. Otherwise, of course, you can see some of the snow and some of the ice that you are seeing on Cedar Pass, which is, of course, the reason why we got the chain requirements out there. Taking a look at the road conditions here, forecast road conditions, you see conditions aren't going to be all that bad. Conditions should even improve, that is, for Cedar Pass. But then by tonight and tomorrow morning, we'll probably start to see that snow return, maybe for places like Cedar Pass later tonight and tomorrow morning. All right, so there's your forecast for today. Clouds on the increase. So again, this morning we're starting off with, not a ton of cloud cover out there for many of us, but those clouds are on the increase this afternoon. And again, fairly dry, maybe a passing sprinkle this afternoon, later this afternoon even for the mountains. Tonight we're dropping down into the mid-40s. So the added cloud cover for tomorrow morning is going to make for a warmer start to the day. I mean, I think we'll even barely make it to freezing in many cases, especially to the north and east of the valley. Let's take a look at that 7-day outlook. So here's what I've got. Rain for tomorrow. The bulk of the rain for the valley will be tomorrow morning. And then it moves through fairly quickly. It starts to dry out. Now, there may be some scattered showers tomorrow afternoon. Maybe, just maybe, even an isolated thunderstorm. But then it dries out by Thursday. Now, here's another thing. You notice we've got a little bit more cloud cover there for Sunday, Monday. This is something I talked about yesterday, and I was hoping this morning there'd be a little bit better alignment in the long-range forecast models, but it does look like maybe a chance for showers Sunday, Monday. But I'm not seeing very good alignment at this point, so I'm not going to set that in stone just yet. Now we take a look at the coast, inland, and for Trinity County. Snow level's a little bit higher than anticipated as well, probably somewhere around 4,000 feet for Trinity County. Now for Mount Shasta, in fact, let me take you back one. For the coast, you notice in inland, I've included that chance for showers Sunday, Monday. I am seeing some consistency that we may see a clipper system. That is, when it clips Northern California, a lot of times you just see most of that rain in Del Norte, Northern Humboldt, and Western Siskiyou. That's typically where we see most of it and could see on Sunday. So I put that in there, at least for now, as a heads up. That's something that we're watching. Now we take it as Siskiyou, Modoc County, and the Eastern Mountains. And again, I've got you dry for Sunday, Monday. But that may change. We'll see. Just kind of a heads up that there is that potential out there. But I'm, again, not seeing much consistency in the long-range forecast models. Rain and snow, notice the snow levels for tomorrow, 4,000 to upwards of 5,000 feet by the time you get into the eastern mountains. So, yeah, some slightly higher snow levels than I originally anticipated. There you can see Lake Oroville, and just a beautiful shot out there this morning. There you can see some of the clouds that we are seeing. They're going to be coming in from the west. Looks like the winds are blowing a little bit, but you can see some of the high clouds that we are seeing kind of off in the distance this morning. This is Main Street Chico on Highway 32. Looks like we should probably see some more of the normal traffic that we typically see this time of the morning. Yesterday, there was a little less flow in the traffic because there were probably a lot less people driving on the roads. Looks like we got a little backup of the traffic at that red light, so we're not really able to see how much traffic we have on Highway 99 at Neal Road, but again, most likely looking at a lot of the typical conditions that we'd see with your morning commute. Highway 44 at Sundial Bridge Drive. Looks like we are seeing the roads looking pretty clear out there this morning. All right, tell you what, let's get you right to our deeper dive forecast, because we were, you know what, before we do that, we'll check in with some of you here this morning. We got a couple of people checking in here. We have got some of our regulars checking in this morning. We have got Lisa Stevens saying, good chilly morning all. We've also got Stephen Cook, a beautiful day on tap. Yeah, I think so. The clouds will be on the increase, but we're certainly not going to see much in the way of rain for most of us. And then we've got Ruth, one of our regulars, saying good morning, everybody. And Catherine Schmidt, another regular, saying it's been nice to get out of the zeros to teens. No, I'm sure it has been. Of course, we're not experiencing that here in the valley, but boy, I see those and I report those temperatures and I'm like, oh man, I'm glad I don't live up there. But you know what? To each their own, right? Beautiful area nonetheless, and sometimes we just got to make sacrifices like with cold temperatures and snow and the works. Very nice. All right, now let's get to our deeper dive forecast and see what's going on. Let's get right into it, shall we, folks? Of course, as you know, Coffee with Krueger would not be possible without our sponsor, and that would be Wind River Resort and Casino. At Wind River Resort and Casino, enjoy friendly service, a wide variety of specials and promotions, plus all of your favorite slots and table games. All right, let's get you right to it. Take a look at those current conditions out there right now. And what did I do? I think I pushed the wrong button. That's what I did. Now we're going to take a look at the current conditions. 37 degrees for Reading, 25 degrees in Susanville, 29 in Alturas. We have dropped down to the teens actually for Chester at about 19, 29 for Quincy, 27 for Mount Shasta City, and there you can see those mid to upper 40s for the coast. So taking a look at your headlines, unsettled through Wednesday. And this is what I was talking about. You know, I mentioned this, and it was kind of interesting because the definition of unsettled, at least the way I define it, is when you see that mixture of sun, some clouds, and the chance for a few scattered showers. Now, yesterday, we really didn't see much sun poke through those clouds. So someone actually on my post said, sun? Well, now, if you look outside, and I'm doing that right now, I'm looking out my window, there's some sun, right? So that's exactly what I'm talking about. It's just some days more clouds, some days more sun, some days more rain. It's just kind of one of those, like, it's just these cold systems kind of passing through, and that tends to destabilize the atmosphere just enough for us to see some clouds and maybe a few showers. But again, the main event will be tomorrow morning. Now, snow levels with this main event will be between 4,000 and 5,000 feet with drier and warmer conditions after that storm passes. Now, I've still got that in there, the possibility for some showers maybe as early as Saturday, quite honestly, Sunday and even Monday. But when you look at the long-range forecast models, and the two main ones that we look at is the GFS, the American forecast model, right, and the European forecast model. They're both all over the place as far as when we see rain, if we see rain, the works. And, you know, each forecast model run tends to be different as well. So, again, not a lot of consistency for any of those longer-range forecast models just yet. All right, so this looks pretty impressive, doesn't it? You see that flow of moisture? This is an atmospheric river. Pineapple Express, a stream of moisture, right? It's aimed right at the Pacific Northwest right now, Washington and Oregon. Now, it will shift to the south, and right now there's plentiful moisture associated with it. But as it shifts to the south, this atmospheric river is going to weaken, and it's not going to have a very big impact on us. Because number one, sure, yes, even though it's an atmospheric river and it's a weaker one, it still has moisture. But number two, the storm system itself, the rain that we end up seeing and snow in the mountains, it's going to move through quickly. So we just won't have a lot of time to accumulate the snow in the mountains or even accumulate the rain in those rain buckets in the lower elevations. So let's take you through the timing of all that and show you what I'm talking about. So again, through the day, midday, we're seeing the increase in the cloud cover. Still actually some sunshine, even for parts of the valley eastward. More clouds, though, to the west at this point. Then we go through the afternoon, and not only are we seeing the added cloud cover, but we may see a brief shower, especially out towards Siskiyou, Modoc, and the eastern mountains. Now, this is an even lighter shade of green, indicating it's even lighter rain. The atmosphere is pretty dry right now. We haven't really seen a ton of rainfall out there. So there's a very good chance that what we're seeing here is it's just going to evaporate before it reaches the ground. We call it virga in the industry. But overall, most of that rain, I think, will be to the north and to the east. But, you know, if you see a passing sprinkle in the valley this afternoon, don't be surprised. And then we go into the overnight hours. Here we are, 5 a.m. There's the cold front. So a couple of things. Number one, the rain will be heavy for the coast, and the winds will be quite strong. Gusts 40, even 50 miles per hour. This is where the storm will be at strongest. This is the cold front. As we typically see with these cold fronts, with the brunt of the storm up to our north, that cold front moves over the mountains. It breaks that cold front apart. Now, depending on how strong it is, sometimes it breaks up more than others. You can see it's not breaking up a whole lot, but if you will notice, not quite as organized and heavy as what we saw when it was along the coast. So there's that cold front, okay? And you can see some of the rain. Now notice, I mean, you look at the valley, it's not going to be widespread, steady rainfall. It's going to be off and on rain. And it will be moderate to heavy rainfall at times. Could we see a lightning strike in here too? Sure, not out of the question. You know, the chances are pretty slim, but it's certainly a possibility. There's the noon hour. Now we're seeing the cold front right here. It's beginning to exit Northern California already by midday. So 5 o'clock in the morning, midday. That's a pretty quick moving system. And that's why we don't anticipate to see a ton of rainfall. Now, some areas are going to see a lot more rain than others, even on a microclimate type scale, because you're going to see some of these brief periods of moderate to heavy rainfall, and then across the street, you're not seeing much in the way of rain at all. That's kind of how these systems work. So you can see some of the snow that we're seeing here, but again, that's pretty high, 4,000 to 5,000 feet. So you're going to have to go up around some of those higher mountain passes, especially in the eastern mountains, before you start seeing those chain requirements. I don't think we're going to see a lot of chain requirements on I-5 or west of I-5 either. Highway 36 maybe west, but again, it's the higher elevations, the higher mountain passes are in the eastern mountains and southern Cascades, and that's why I do anticipate to see some chain requirements there through the morning hours. All right, so here's the afternoon. Now, if we get enough clearing for the first half of the day, as that cold front passes, we could see some afternoon what we call convective thunderstorms. Chances are slim, but it's worth watching. You can kind of see Futurecast is kind of picking up on that, but we're still seeing most of the activity off to the north and east. The coast, still overcast, maybe drizzly and maybe a light sprinkle or two, but not a lot going on there by the afternoon. And then by 6 p.m., now we're starting to kind of clear things out for the valley. Get to see some sunshine peeking through those clouds here tomorrow afternoon. Still some clouds go off to the west and the north. Most of any activity is off to the east at this point as we go into 6 p.m. Here we are Wednesday night into Thursday, and it's starting to clear out. Now, you'll notice this right here. This is actually some low clouds and some fog. And that's kind of up in the high plains there, right? But we could see maybe some patchy fog for parts of the valley. Some of those inland valleys could see some fog as well. Mountain valleys too. You can see some of the fog we're developing here around Highway 101 from Eureka all the way down to, say, even Garberville, maybe seeing some of that fog in the morning. Places like Hoopa, Willow Creek, yeah, maybe some fog to start off the day as well. But then see what's happening, see how that fog kind of burns off. And that'll probably be the case here for many of the mountain valleys and even out towards Highway 101. But it's dry by the time we do get into Thursday morning. So rainfall totals. At first, I was looking at these, I'm like, it could be a little bit more. But then, of course, looking at Futurecast, this seems to be in pretty good alignment, at least for the valley. I think on average, a few hundredths to about 1/10 of an inch of rainfall in the valley. I do think we'll probably see a little bit more than what Futurecast is showing here with the main storm system. Take note, about 1/4 of an inch in Eureka and just under 3/4 of an inch in Crescent City. And of course, Hoopa, a little over 1/4 of an inch. So you can kind of just take note of these numbers. I'm going to advance to the next map here. This is a different forecast model, but it's in alignment here for the valley, seeing about a few hundredths to a 1/10 of an inch of rainfall, right? 0.01 is the light green. 0.10 is the slightly deeper shade of green. So again, that's in alignment with what we just looked at. Where we're not seeing alignment is right here. Now remember, it was under 3, I think it was about 0.68 for Crescent City. When you get into this shade of blue here, now you're talking 0.75, maybe even an inch of rainfall in Crescent City. For Eureka, a 1/2 inch instead of that 1/4 inch that we saw. Places like Hoopa, you're getting in that 3/4 of an inch to an inch as well. So I do think on average about a 1/2 inch to an inch, maybe a little bit more in some areas, maybe a little bit less. But you get the idea. I think we're going to see some decent rain there, just not nearly as much as you start heading east of the coast. The wind alerts. There's actually a wind advisory for Del Norte and Humboldt County from 2 a.m. until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning. Remember I was talking about that cold front is moving through late tonight, early tomorrow morning. As that cold front passes through, not only will the coast see the heavy rainfall, but it will also see some gusty winds. South winds sustained at about 25 to 35 miles per hour, but could see gusts 45 to even 55 miles per hour. I've even seen reports up to 60. So here we go, taking a look at the winds here for today. They're not that bad, not that big of a deal. We see the winds begin to pick up towards Crescent City. Overnight, you see that. Very strong winds coming in from the south-southwest. So you see the forecast winds, wind gusts are 25 to 35 miles per hour here. And again, we could see them at times for brief periods of time get up to 45, 55 miles per hour. But also take note, we're seeing some winds here out towards Shasta Valley and central Siskiyou County. No wind advisory there yet, but I have a feeling that the Medford National Weather Service office may be changing their minds and putting in a wind advisory there. Nothing for the valley just yet as far as advisories are concerned, and based on the wind forecast, it may not get as high as we're seeing here for central Siskiyou and for the coast. But look at this, by 10 a.m. tomorrow, still pretty gusty in central Siskiyou County, but we'll just call it breezy by the time we get into the mid-morning hours for the coast. Winds coming in from the south here for the valley, south-southeast, 20, 25 mile an hour gusts there. But by tomorrow afternoon, tomorrow evening, the winds are dying down for the most part. Some of the higher mountain ridge tops, yeah, maybe a little gusty there, but not that bad. Now check this out. So going to Thursday, all right, you see in the morning not much going on there, but then by Thursday afternoon, a bit of a north wind. Breezy, not windy, but breezy, borderline windy, with those gusts over 20 miles per hour. A little breezy out along the coast and some of those mountain areas, but overall no major wind events there. So the main wind event that we see over the next 24, 48 hours will be along the coast, central Siskiyou County. And then after that, you know, it starts to kind of die down. So here's the setup. Here's that cold front I was talking about. You see what's happening? It's just going to push on through pretty quickly. As I mentioned, about 5 a.m. it's on the coast. About midday, it's just exiting Northern California. So in about a 6 to 7 hour time frame, it moves from the coast all the way to the state line into Nevada. So again, it's a pretty quick moving system, and the brunt of the rain is typically along that cold front or even just in advance of it. So behind it, it's more in the way of those scattered showers, maybe not the thunderstorm I was talking about as we go through Wednesday afternoon. Now Thursday, Friday, we got high pressure in place. You see a couple of other storm systems that'll clip to our north. Now, this model brings in chances for rain for the northwestern portions of the state. Del Norte, western Siskiyou, northern Humboldt, a chance for rain as early as Saturday, even on Sunday, and maybe even on Monday. But it's not really making its way as far south anywhere else. The European forecast model, on the other hand, around Sunday or Monday, showing some of that working its way southward. So again, a lot of inconsistencies here, but I have at least on Sunday put that chance for showers here for parts of the coast. And of course, going through early next week, it's dry again. So drier than normal conditions are in the long range. But another thing to kind of keep in mind is that even though it says it's drier than normal, doesn't mean there won't be any rain at all. It just means there won't be as much rainfall as we'd like to see. However, we are seeing signs of these green shades, which means better chances of seeing above normal rainfall. We're starting to see it kind of creep southward into Northern California. So we're starting to see those signs potentially of more wet weather in the forecast. All right, what do the lake levels look like? We're still seeing that drop out at Lake Shasta over a foot over the last 24 hours. And that's been the average here, about a foot to a foot and a half over a 24-hour period over the last few days. Not much of a drop for Trinity. In fact, over the last few days, Lake Oroville has actually seen a slight increase. Now, we have dropped below 80% of capacity out at Lake Shasta, down to about 79, but still over 80% here for Trinity and Lake Oroville. Okay, I've been showing you this the last few days. Again, just kind of a reminder and just a quick look at the month of February so far. And really, these gray numbers are at least near average or right around average. The blue numbers, the blue boxes indicating temperatures that have been below average. And really, if you look at the month of February, it's been cooler than average so far. You may have noticed that, a little bit on the chilly side. But we look at the long range here, and you can see it's getting into the warmer than normal category. Now, I think it's going to hold off until we start getting into day 8, 9, and 10, because you'll notice through the weekend we're in the upper 60s, and then a slight drop Sunday, and then they go back up again for next Monday and Tuesday and Wednesday. But there are some 70s in the forecast. Now, is this guaranteed? Absolutely not, but we are seeing that trend and some consistency in that long-range trend with those warmer than normal conditions. Now, the wave heights today, they're not that bad, but by the afternoon, they start to increase. And then, of course, they'll continue to be fairly high going through the day on Wednesday. So if you look at the marine forecast, you can see the winds from the southeast at 5 knots. All right, so that's not that bad, but they will be increasing later this afternoon and evening. Same thing with the waves. We're going to see those go up higher as well. Now, there is a small corrected advisory, but that won't take effect until this evening, and will continue through tonight and tomorrow. All right, so just be aware of that here if you do need to be on that small boat. So here's your Trinity County neighborhood forecast. Temperatures today are going to be the mid to upper 50s, low to mid 50s on Highway 3. There is that rain, snow levels about 4,000 feet. Heaviest will be in the morning, turning over to scattered showers Wednesday afternoon. Then, of course, dry. I'm keeping it dry through the weekend. As I mentioned, keep a heads up. Keep watching the forecast for the latest on that potential for rain Sunday, Monday of next week, maybe even Saturday for the coast in particular. 52 degrees for Peanut, 53 degrees for Wildwood, and 58 degrees in Ruth. We take you out to the southern portion of Humboldt County. 60 degrees from Miranda all the way down to Garberville, 59 for Red Crest, and 58 degrees in Honeydew. Take you up north, 59 out in Ferndale, Fortuna, Hydesville, Rio Dell, about 58 degrees for your daytime high today. Look for a high of 59 for Willow Creek, Hoopa, about 58. 57 in Trinidad, and you got 58 degrees in McKinleyville. How about 52 degrees out in Gas Key, 58 for Smith River, and 56 degrees in Orleans. Your Siskiyou County neighborhood forecast, here you go. Those temperatures, low 50s for Highway 96 along the I-5 corridor there. I mean, looks like the magic number is 44 for Hornbrook, Wairika, Montague, Grenada, Potato, Patata. I don't know, right? Gazelle, 44 degrees. If you live in this area, let me know. Email, in the comments, whether it's on Facebook or on YouTube, let me know. I'd love to hear what you think. Is it Grenada? I've never heard anybody say it. I've lived here for 25 plus years. I've never heard anybody say that town. All right, anyway, there you go. And it's always that criticism, right? When you have someone who's not local, like they say the names of the towns wrong. Well, I may be saying that right here. I don't know. We'll see. 47 degrees for Greenview, 48 degrees for Fort Jones, 47 for Callahan. There you can see, of course, the snow levels are around 4,000 feet for Scott Valley. All right, let's take you out to Siskiyou, central and eastern Siskiyou County, 44 degrees in Weed, 44 for Tennant, and 40 degrees in Tule Lake. Take you out to Modoc County, Newell, about 41. 42 degrees in Canby and Cedarville, about 39 degrees. Your Eastern Mountains neighborhood forecast, 47 degrees in Boerne, 44 degrees for Old Station and Paynes Creek, about 57. We take you out to Lake Almanor and for Lassen Park. Around the perimeter of the lake, looks like temperatures should be in the upper 40s. Westwood, about 46. Paradise, you'll see a high of about 58. 53 degrees in Quincy. Mineral, about 50. And there you can see those temperatures are about 48 degrees in Doyle. Here's your Valley neighborhood forecast brought to you by Walgamuth Painting. Now to the south, we're looking at temperatures in the low, maybe some mid-60s. So actually a little bit warmer than it has been. And of course, that's going to be thanks to starting off the day with some sunshine. And then of course, here's that rain. Heaviest will be in the morning, turning over to scattered showers, maybe some thunderstorms by the afternoon. It's also the case for Chico. We're back to dry conditions on Thursday, Friday through the weekend. As I mentioned, we're going to have to watch Sunday, Monday. We'll see what happens there. For now, I'm going to keep it dry. Let's take you up to the north. 58 degrees for Lakehead, 59 in Whiskeytown, 62 for the city of Shasta Lake, and 63 degrees in Cottonwood. All right, there's a look at your 7-day outlook for Redding. Those upper 50s on Wednesday, mid-60s for Thursday, Friday. And again, I'm keeping it dry for Sunday, Monday for now, but that may change. We shall see. Long-range forecast models, you know, let's have a little fun with that. Got a little bit of time. We've been kind of talking about this going into the forecast. I am going to load up real quickly here a forecast model that I typically use here. And we're going to look at the European and the GFS and just kind of show you. Let's see if I have to log in. Do I have to log in? Oh, bummer. Oh, bummer. I got to log in. I guess it's been a while since let me see if I can do that. I think I remember the password. Let me try the password here. No, wrong password. Let's try another one. Wrong password. Well, maybe we won't. Oh, shoot. Give me a second here. I'm going to check my passwords. You know, we have so many passwords in our life that it's like, how can you keep up with them? Logins. There we go. I have the wrong email in there. Well, for goodness sake. All right. Is this gonna be worth it? I don't know. Is it? We'll find out. There we go. That should work. There we go. All right, now let's try this again. There we go. We're going to do one here as well. There we go. Let's see if that loads up. I'm going to load up the 0Z because that seems to be... All right, here we go. Here, let's have a little fun. Excellent. Looks like it's loading up. Come on, load, 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 load. Load up. Are you having fun watching me kind of load stuff up? Isn't that fun? All right, let's get to it. Let's get out of here. Okay, all right, so we are looking right now. Let's start with the European forecast model. So we're going to go past this. We already talked about what we got going on tomorrow. We're going to go to the weekend. So here's Saturday. Okay, here's Saturday afternoon. So based on this model, we are completely dry. You know what? Let's do the comparator. Even better there. And then what we do is we do 4 maps. That's good. All right. Oh. Hold on. We're going to add that. And we're going to take this one down. There we go. All right. Good, good. So we're both looking at 0Z. Good. So let's take it through time. So the left is the European, the right is the American GFS forecast model. So there's, okay, we're not going to talk about tomorrow's storm. We're going to get into Saturday. So here we are, this is Friday, and the GFS, the American forecast model, wants to bring in a little bit of rain, possibly, as you can see, but basically dry. And then as we go into Saturday morning, Saturday afternoon, look at the GFS. Now the GFS is showing as early as Saturday afternoon, maybe some rain along the coast. Your typical spots that we see, and I talked about this during my main forecast, and that is western Siskiyou, northern Humboldt, and Del Norte, seeing the bulk of any rain. But look at the European forecast model on the left side. That is dry. Okay, here we are Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, still rain, and for the mountains, for the coast, based on the GFS, maybe a little bit of rain Sunday for the typical spots that we see to the northwest, based on the European. Then we go into Monday. Okay, look at Monday. Monday looks dry for both models, barely. But look at this. As we go to Monday night into Tuesday, some decent rain coming in based on the European, and not much coming in out of the GFS. So you see what we're dealing with here. We've got to basically take a look at this and go, all right, what is the best case scenario? Which forecast model seems to have, the better, has been more accurate here in the last several weeks or even months? And you got to take that all into account. And of course, knowing our area and understanding that. See, this is where AI comes into play. And we talk about different apps. We talk about all of that stuff. Most apps that you can get that are not local, if it's not Weather NorCal app, most apps don't even have one human eyeball looking at that forecast. For example, your iPhone has an app for weather. Not one eyeball looks at that forecast. It's all 100% AI generated. That's why a lot of times it'll change, each hour. It'll show rain or snow, then sunny skies the next second, right? That's kind of the idea. That's where having a human eyeball, having a human aspect behind it really does help and create more accuracy, create more level of confidence in knowing what you're looking at in the forecast. So that's where I come in here with Weather NorCal. 25 plus years of experience in the works. So again, I just wanted to show you what the two different forecast models are showing, what I'm dealing with here, and why I talk about, looks like sometime around this weekend, maybe, just maybe, right? Well, you saw what the forecast models are doing. They're just kind of going back and forth. So again, until I see more consistency, I'm not going to set it in stone for any of that rain for most areas until we get the next couple of days. And, hopefully we can get some rain. The break that we're going to see the rest of the week is going to be nice, but we're still in the wet season, folks. So if we can get more rain in there, more snow, absolutely. I say go for it. Let's do it. We're in the wet season. Let's keep it coming. So that is going to do it for us this morning. Hope you all have yourselves a great day. We're going to kind of wrap things up here and take a look at some different photos. Not photos, but actually looking at some different cameras across the region. Again, that's going to do it. I'm kind of multitasking. Put the music up. I'm getting the cameras. Ooh, this is nice. Get you right to it. Oh, look at the birds. Look at the geese flying around. Very nice. So, there you go. Have yourselves a great day, and we will see you tomorrow morning right here on Coffee with Krueger. It's Wednesday. Tomorrow's Wednesday. It's hump day. We'll see you then. Have a great day. day.